My name is Dr. Balogun Rotimi, Olatunbosun. A young man of my early 40s, and I love nature. I have been living around natural items and phenomenon for a very long time. I appreciate what God has done, and I'm happy to relate and associate myself with nature. It creates a good ambience, as you can see around me. This is a lovely sight to behold. The waterfront, and it's very, very lovely and can create great wealth for women because the Lord has created it for us to enjoy, and we want to make utmost use of it. And I'm very, very happy that I'm enjoying what God has created for us. So most of the ideas that we create to build, we derive them from nature, from the inspiration we get either by sitting by the side of the pool or by the side, by the side of the waterfront, or we're sitting by the side of an ocean. You definitely see the ambience of God's works, and you start resonating within yourself and start creating ideas and creating minds of your own. And I thank God for what God has really, really done. With what I'm seeing, a lot of things have become in life. I got it through the nature of what God has designed on earth for us. For example, now we have the ocean. In the ocean, there is a lot of trades that are going on there.
I think about 2 years ago, you came up with this idea called Ikorodu, the Miami of Lagos State. The news went viral back there, and a lot of people are still asking questions to really have a better understanding of that phrase you came up with back then. So when you say Ikorodu, the Miami of Lagos State, can you please shed more light into that very sentence?
Well, Ikorodu was given birth to, the Ikorodu, the Miami of Lagos was given birth to as the inspiration of the environment we have, which is the waterways and the waterfront we have. Um, I just saw that a lot of developmental activity would have been going on around the waterways, which gave birth to the Ikorodu, the Miami of Lagos. What we're looking at is to ensure that we make use of these waterways to the best of our ability. We have to use it to do full-time tourism, ensuring we have the beachfront design look, the way Miami Beach looks, and the way Miami has been developed. In Miami today, that beach generates the highest resources, revenue for the Florida state in Miami. And at the end of the day, why don't you have a replica of that in Nigeria and in Lagos State especially? Because Ikorodu will house the highest and the largest landscape of waterways in Lagos. And definitely, our waterfront are just lying fallow. We are not using it to do anything. The waterfront is not lying. We don't use it to do our fishing activities on the water is not lucrative. The ambience of the waterfront is being used as dump sites, and is not. We are not utilizing them properly. So what we are looking at is we want the waterfront to be used as our tourist attractive centers by ensuring that we design a beachfront in those areas. We put nice 5-star hotels in the waterfront, encourage big offices to come and build their office complex. And the beauty about this waterfront is that we have good and lucrative land soil that will not need much piling for you to build lovely edifices. We have them around this waterfront, and we can do a lot with that. We can improve the fishing activities. We can improve the waterway transportation from this same axis. by ensuring that people that could invest into the likes could definitely come. Ikorodu now has security. We have security that can secure investors for coming into this environment so that they can come and develop and add their own value and make income. The government is going to make revenue from that axis. So that's what I think we need to start doing.
So with this laudable idea that you have, how do you think, when it comes to synergy, what do you think those players who can actually come together to make such a laudable idea come to reality? How do you think it's going to work?
Well, what I feel can happen is the government has to come into place by putting policy like the Lagos State government, policy that will attract tourists and investors into the community, so that they can easily get this land at a very, very discounted rate. If they will even give them policy to give them like first 3 years or first 5 years tax-free holiday for them to be able to have their ways, provide security facilities for them, provide good network in those environments that leads to the waterfront. Road networks, security apparatus should be there, patrol teams should be around so that investors will have confidence to come and invest in our waterways. Because I don't see the difference within this waterway with that of Victoria Island. What is just differentiating them is just the water dividing them apart. But look at development in those axes, down to Lekki. All the waterfront has been well developed. So, and we in this axis too, we see that we have potentials. We need this development to come into this axis so that it could help in employing our youth. It's going to create a lot of employment. Imagine we having our own Takwa Bay in Ikorodu. We are having our own La Campagne Tropicana at Ikorodu axis. You know the number of people that is going to get employment from that axis. And the definitely is going to help us to portray our culture. Because we at Ikorodu have a lot of culture and tradition that we can use and be able to do what? There's different cultural activities that we hold in different seasons. We have the Magbon festival, we have the Eluku festival, and so on. So why don't we display this to the world? When we do this, definitely we'll be able to do a lot and convert these waterways to wealth for the people to be able to enjoy.